Do you feel your legs significantly weakening after 60? Does getting up from a seat require you to push off your knees? And does every step up the stairs become an exhausting ordeal? Moreover, sometimes you lose balance even when simply crossing the living room. Most people tend to believe this is an inevitable part of old age. However, the truth is somewhat different. In reality, it's one of the earliest and most insidious signs of age-related muscle tissue atrophy, known as sarcopenia. This process develops subtly and unnoticed. It's not accompanied by pain or visible swelling until a person needs assistance to get up from a chair. But there's also very encouraging news. It's clinically proven that you can regain lost leg strength in just a few days with only 3 key vitamins. This doesn't require strenuous physical activity or expensive medical treatments, just the right nutrients taken at the optimal time. This text will delve into 3 essential vitamins that are vital for every senior. It will explain how their deficiency leads to a feeling of weakness and heaviness in the lower limbs, and how to combine them safely and effectively for rapid recovery. The information presented is not based on idle speculation or unconfirmed rumors. It's grounded in numerous clinical studies, reliable scientific data, and many years of professional experience. The human body undergoes gradual but quite noticeable changes over time. After reaching 60 years of age, bone tissue becomes more fragile and prone to fractures, and blood circulation slows down. Additionally, the muscular system begins to lose its strength, and this is particularly noticeable in the lower limbs. Many people are unaware that the primary signs of weakness typically manifest in the legs, making even the most basic actions, such as standing or walking, difficult. Even if a person maintains their usual diet and experiences no obvious discomfort, individuals over 60 lose 1 to 3% of their muscle mass annually, according to the American Geriatric Society. This means a person might not even realize that they can lose up to 15% of their leg strength in just 5 years. So, why do these changes occur? There are 3 key reasons. The first reason is a deficiency of vital vitamins. With age, the intestines become less efficient at absorbing essential nutrients, and the stomach produces less hydrochloric acid. This leads to reduced levels of vitamins D, B12, and B1, thiamine, which play a critically important role in nerve transmission and ensuring proper muscle contractions. The second reason is impaired blood circulation. When blood flow slows down, the lower limbs receive insufficient oxygen and nutrients. The result is rapid fatigue, frequent cramps, and a constant feeling of heaviness and tiredness in the legs. The third reason is decreased physical activity. Leg muscle tissue weakens and atrophies over time because older adults reduce walking or avoid climbing stairs. Furthermore, muscles cannot fully recover without adequate nutrition, even with regular but insufficient physical activity. However, there's very encouraging news. You can regain lost leg strength in just a few days simply by replenishing the deficiency of these 3 vitamins. Now let's examine each of these vitamins in detail and understand their mechanisms of action. We'll start with the one that, unfortunately, most older adults don't get enough of. Vitamin D3 is essentially the switch that can reactivate and restore the former strength to your legs. Did you know that vitamin D3 is much more than just one of many vitamins? It functions as a kind of master switch, reactivating your entire nervous, skeletal, and muscular systems. However, there's a significant problem here. The body's ability to produce this vital nutrient significantly declines after reaching 60 years of age. The skin thins, and the functions of the liver and kidneys, responsible for converting vitamin D, slow down, especially if a person spends less time in the sun. As a result of these processes, the body gradually begins to shut down vital systems. Muscles weaken, legs become heavy, and movements slow down. Most alarmingly, people start to lose their balance as they unknowingly develop a vitamin D3 deficiency, a fundamental and essential need. Why is vitamin D3 so important? Vitamin D3 promotes the efficient absorption of calcium, which is absolutely essential for forming healthy and strong bones. However, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Beyond this, it ensures proper and complete muscle fiber contraction, facilitates smooth nerve impulse transmission, and most importantly, prevents muscle atrophy, which progresses imperceptibly with age. When there's insufficient D3 in the body becomes unreliable and weak, much like the worn-out mechanism of an old car. How can you tell if you have a vitamin D3 deficiency? Signs of this condition include general leg weakness, especially noticeable when climbing stairs, rapid fatigue when standing or walking, night leg cramps, difficulty turning quickly or taking a step, and severe pain in the hips, knees, or heels. Some people may also experience mild anxiety, increased impatience, and difficulty falling asleep at night. These seemingly minor symptoms are actually early indicators of vitamin D3 deficiency. Nevertheless, they are sometimes mistakenly attributed to the natural effects of aging. What is the scientific consensus on this matter? Researchers at the University of Birmingham in the UK conducted a study involving people over 65. It was found that after taking 800 IU of vitamin D3 for just 5 days, participants' leg strength increased by an average of 19%. According to another Chinese study, older adults who took D3 supplements and performed moderate physical exercises showed significant improvement in leg strength and balance in just a few weeks. Furthermore, scientists at the Harvard Geriatric Research Center discovered that older adults with low vitamin D3 levels were 40% more likely to fall or be hospitalized compared to those with normal D3 levels. This is a clear and unambiguous message. Vitamin D3 protects not only your bone structure but also your independence. How does it work? When D3 levels return to normal, the body more effectively absorbs calcium, promotes the development of new muscle fibers, improves muscle contraction and reaction time, reduces hidden inflammation in muscle tissue, and facilitates painless, smoother movement. Simply put, vitamin D3 reactivates your joints and muscles, restoring their functionality. What is the recommended dosage for healthy individuals over 60? Experts advise taking 800 to 1,000 international units per day. For people who have already experienced falls or show clear signs of weakness, a dosage of 1,500 to 2,000 IU per day is recommended. For optimal absorption, vitamin D3 should be taken under medical supervision in the morning or early afternoon, always after a meal containing healthy fats, such as salmon, eggs, or olive oil. Vitamin D3 should never be taken immediately before bedtime, as this can cause sleep disturbances. Is it enough to get vitamin D3 from food alone? Unfortunately, no. Let's look at the numbers. Approximately 500 IU are contained in 100 grams of fatty fish. From one egg, you get only about 40 IU. A glass of fortified milk contains approximately 100 IU. For most older adults, it would be unrealistic to consume such quantities of fatty fish, eggs, and milk daily to obtain 1,000 international units solely from food sources. For this reason, vitamin D3 supplementation is often necessary. Who should immediately consider taking such supplements? Vitamin D3 should be your top priority if you are over 60, spend little time outdoors, feel unsteady when walking, or have had falls in the past, suffer from osteoporosis or joint pain, or if you follow a plant-based diet with limited consumption of dairy and fish. However, there are a few important warnings to consider. While D3 is generally safe, its excessive and prolonged use can lead to undesirable consequences. Long-term intake of doses exceeding 4,000 IU per day can cause headaches, constipation, or nausea, kidney stones due to elevated calcium levels, and in sensitive individuals, abnormal heartbeats. This is a critically important aspect. Use the appropriate dosage at the right time and regularly monitor your levels under the supervision of a specialist. Vitamin D3 is the key to restoring leg strength in older adults. This unique switch reactivates your muscle systems that have subtly slowed down over time. With proper intake, you can notice a significant difference in just a few days, including feeling stronger legs, lighter steps, and increased confidence in every movement. Now, let's turn to vitamin B12, which restores balance, promotes nervous system health, and brings back confidence in your legs. Let's discuss this vitamin in detail, as it is one of the most important, yet often overlooked, supplements for people over 60. Vitamin B12, as you may know, helps improve memory and boost energy levels. However, most people don't realize its broader significance. B12 is absolutely essential for proper communication between your brain and muscles, especially in the lower limbs. It helps maintain healthy nerves, ensures coordinated movements, and supports quick reflexes. When B12 levels drop, the connection between the brain and muscles becomes fuzzy, and often the first symptoms appear in the lower body. So what happens if B12 levels are low? You may experience symptoms such as burning, tingling, or numbness in your feet. Weakness in the legs appears, especially when standing or walking. There's a sensation that your legs are unresponsive or asleep. When B12 levels are below optimal, you may have difficulty with balance even on flat surfaces, feel unsteady, or need assistance to walk. Additionally, some people suffer from mood swings, mild depression, forgetfulness, and a feeling of brain fog. These symptoms often appear gradually. Many older adults mistakenly believe that these are simply natural manifestations of aging. However, they are actually classic signs of B12 deficiency. Why is B12 deficiency more common among older adults? There are two main reasons. The first is insufficient absorption. As we age, our stomach produces less acid, especially if a person takes medications that reduce stomach acid, such as ranitidine or omeprazole. In this low-acid environment, it becomes more difficult for the body to extract B12 from food. The second reason is a limited diet. Meat, fish, eggs, and dairy products are virtually the only sources of vitamin B12. You become more vulnerable to deficiency if you consume less meat or follow a plant-based diet. Your body may not absorb enough of the vitamin, even if you maintain a healthy diet. This explains why B12 insufficiency is so widespread among people over 60. What is the scientific consensus on this matter? Numerous studies have convincingly demonstrated the impact of insufficient B12 levels on the mobility of older adults. According to a study by Oxford University in the UK, older adults aged 65 and over who had low B12 levels walked slower, had significantly worse balance, and were twice as likely to fall within the next year compared to those with normal vitamin levels. In a randomized clinical trial published in the Journal of Gerontology, older adults were given 1,000 milligrams of vitamin B12 per day for 8 weeks. After supplementation, participants reported less numbness and unsteadiness, improved lower body strength, and faster reactions. In addition to helping you think more clearly, B12 also supports balance and body control. Now let's look at how vitamin B12 functions in the body. Vitamin B12 contributes to the formation of the protective myelin sheath that surrounds your nerve fibers. It enables the production of red blood cells, improved oxygen supply to muscle tissues, efficient energy metabolism, and rapid, precise signal transmission from the brain to the muscles. Thus, muscles receive the necessary energy for full functioning. When you have a B12 deficiency, your nerves begin to malfunction, muscles misinterpret commands, and your legs start to feel disconnected from your body. Who is most at risk of B12 deficiency? If you are over 60, the likelihood of low B12 levels significantly increases. The risk group also includes people who regularly use antacids or acid blockers, follow a low meat or vegetarian diet, take metformin for diabetes, suffer from digestive disorders such as gastritis or irritable bowel syndrome, regularly consume alcohol, or have undergone weight loss surgery or other gastrointestinal interventions. If any of the above applies to you, it is recommended to get a quick blood test to determine your B12 level. There are also often overlooked indicators of deficiency. Some people may not experience the typical tingling or numbness. Instead, they become clumsy or drop objects, experience mild headaches, persistent fatigue that doesn't go away with rest, or their feet feel sporadic pain or buzzing. These are all warning signs your body is trying to tell you. Furthermore, the sooner you act, the faster the recovery will be. What is the recommended B12 dosage? A daily dose of 500-1,000 milligrams of methylcobalamin is considered safe and effective for people over 60. Why methylcobalamin specifically? Your body can use it immediately without the need for conversion, as it is the active form of vitamin B12. Older adults will particularly benefit from this, as the conversion rate decreases with age. It comes in various forms, including chewable tablets, sprays, and sublingual tablets that dissolve under the tongue. Since coffee and tea can hinder absorption, it is best to take it in the morning or at lunchtime. Can food alone provide you with enough B12? Yes, in principle, it is possible. However, in reality, it is unlikely. Here's the amount of B12 found in typical foods: 3 ounces of beef liver, about 70 mg, 3 ounces of salmon, about 4.5 mg, 1 large egg, only 0.5 mg, 1 cup of milk, about 1 mg. Thus, to meet your needs, you would have to consume a significant amount of fish and dairy products or liver daily. A more practical and realistic choice for most older adults is to take supplements. Is B12 safe? Vitamin B12 is water-soluble. This means that any excess is excreted from your body. Even in high doses, it is very safe. There is no known lethal dose of B12 in healthy individuals. However, if you are taking anticoagulants or suffer from chronic kidney problems, be sure to consult your doctor. Otherwise, B12 supplements are among the safest and most effective ways to boost energy, improve nerve function, and regain control over your legs for most people. True stories and real effects. Thanks to a vitamin that most of us overlook, many older adults report feeling more stable when walking, regaining sensation in their legs, getting up more confidently, and even sleeping better once their nerve symptoms subside. Vitamin B12 is not just a brain vitamin, it's a movement vitamin. It restores the connection between your body and brain, and your legs feel stronger, muscles react faster, and confidence returns when these connections become clear. Do not ignore it if you have experienced unusual sensations, limb weakness, or balance problems. Check your B12 level and give your nerves what they have been craving. Now, let's move on to vitamin B1, the secret to combating fatigue and providing muscle energy. You probably already know how vitamin D3 helps build muscle mass and how vitamin B12 facilitates nerve-to-leg communication. However, there's another key piece in this complex puzzle: thiamine, also known as vitamin B1. Vitamin B1 provides the electricity, or more precisely, the real energy that your muscles vitally need to move. If D3 turns on the lights and B12 connects the lines, then without B1, your muscles simply cannot function. Without enough B1, your body runs out of fuel, even if your bones are strong and your nerves are sharp. What is vitamin B1 and why is it so important? Vitamin B1, often called thiamine, is an essential element for energy metabolism. This means it helps convert food, especially carbohydrates, into ATP, which is the universal form of usable energy for cells. Every movement, every breath, every muscle contraction is fueled by ATP. Furthermore, since your leg muscles are the largest in your body, they require a constant and abundant supply of energy. When your body's vitamin B1 density is low, your muscles feel heavy, tire easily, and recover poorly after any physical activity. What are the symptoms of a possible vitamin B1 deficiency? Many people over 60 describe the following early signs. Legs feel weak or extremely tired, even with little activity. Muscle cramps occur, especially in the feet or calves. There's a feeling of heaviness or dragging when moving, shortness of breath when climbing stairs, sometimes a feeling of dizziness or fatigue after standing up. Some people may also experience mental exhaustion, lack of appetite, and a general lack of desire to move. These are typical indicators of slowed muscle metabolism, in which vitamin B1 often plays a significant role. What causes vitamin B1 deficiency in older adults? There are several reasons. One is reduced absorption. Our digestive system's ability to absorb thiamine from food decreases with age. The second reason is the use of certain medications. Diuretics, which are often prescribed for heart problems or high blood pressure, cause vitamin B1 to be flushed out in the urine. Antibiotics and metformin can also negatively affect B1 levels. The third reason is alcohol consumption. The ability of older adults to absorb vitamin B1 can be impaired even by moderate consumption of common alcohol, such as wine or beer. The fourth reason is poor nutrition. Vitamin B1 is removed from many processed foods. Additionally, your intake may be too low if you consume fewer whole grains or legumes. What is the conclusion of the research? A 2021 study by the University of Tokyo showed that over 30% of 300 elderly participants had low vitamin B1 levels. Furthermore, these individuals demonstrated significantly less leg strength, moved slower, and often complained of muscle fatigue. Most of them showed a noticeable increase in energy, walking distance, and ability to climb stairs after B1 supplementation. Another study published in the Journal of Neurological Sciences found that patients with chronic leg fatigue who received 100 milligrams of thiamine daily reported an 82% improvement in endurance after 7 days. Additionally, 68% noted less heaviness and pain in their legs, and no side effects were observed. How does vitamin B1 support your legs? Vitamin B1 fuels the Krebs cycle, the primary energy production mechanism in your body. This allows your muscle cells to produce ATP faster, recover more quickly from movements, and maintain their strength and tone throughout the day. Additionally, vitamin B1 facilitates nerve signal transmission, especially in the peripheral nerves that control your legs and feet. It's like trying to drive a car without gas when you don't have vitamin B1. Everything is functional, but nothing moves. What is the necessary amount of vitamin B1? The recommended daily allowance is only 1.2 milligrams for men and 1.1 milligrams for women. However, significantly larger doses are often used to achieve a therapeutic effect in older adults with pronounced deficiency symptoms. Doctors often advise older adults suffering from nerve problems, fatigue, or leg weakness to take 50 to 100 milligrams daily. The good news is that since vitamin B1 is water-soluble, any excess can be safely excreted from the body in urine. When and how is it best to take it? Take vitamin B1 in the morning to maintain elevated energy levels throughout the day. It should always be taken with food, preferably one that contains healthy fats or protein. It is not recommended to take it with alcohol, coffee, or black tea, as these beverages can hinder absorption. Can you get vitamin B1 from food? Yes, it is possible, but it requires a targeted dietary approach. Whole grains, such as brown rice or oats, legumes like beans and lentils, sunflower seeds, as well as organ meats and pork, are excellent sources of vitamin B1. However, most older adults do not consume enough of these foods daily, and some diseases or medications can prevent its absorption. Therefore, a supplement may be the best option if you are unsure about sufficient vitamin intake or have recently experienced unusual fatigue. Who should consider taking vitamin B1 supplements? Your vitamin B1 level should be checked or simply replenished with a safe daily dose if you have type 2 diabetes. This is also relevant if you frequently consume alcohol, take diuretics, metformin, or acid-blocking medications, experience leg fatigue even with light exertion, or have had unexplained weight loss or appetite loss. Is it safe? Indeed, thiamine is known to be safe even in large doses and is considered one of the safest supplements for older adults. However, before starting high doses of vitamin B1, always consult your doctor if you are taking any medications or have liver or kidney problems. Actual results: many older adults report feeling more energetic within 3 to 5 days of taking vitamin B1. Legs feel lighter, walking becomes easy, and climbing stairs is less tiring. And the desire to be active and move returns naturally. This is analogous to fueling an engine that has been sputtering for years. In conclusion, vitamin B1 may not be a sensation. Compared to D3 or B12, it receives less attention. However, it can be the crucial component that makes a huge difference for older adults experiencing energy problems, muscle fatigue, or leg heaviness. It nourishes your muscles, restores your energy. Furthermore, it gives you the strength, purpose, and ease to get through the day. Do not ignore vitamin B1 if you feel depleted, burdened, or disconnected from your body. The simplest nutrients can sometimes make the biggest difference. How can these 3 vitamins be combined for the best results? Now that you know how vitamin D3, vitamin B12, and vitamin B1 help your muscles, the next question is, how can you combine these nutrients for optimal benefit? The key to the solution is proper timing and simplicity. Let's start with when to take each vitamin. The optimal time to take vitamin D3 is in the morning immediately after breakfast, especially if it includes fat-rich foods such as yogurt, eggs, or a small amount of avocado. Why? D3 requires fat for effective absorption because it is fat-soluble. Vitamin B12 is most effective in the early afternoon or around noon. Since B12 also promotes alertness, taking it too late can cause sleep disturbances. Do not take it with tea or coffee, as these beverages can hinder absorption. Your morning fuel is vitamin B1. Take it with your first meal of the day, preferably with a healthy breakfast that includes whole grains and some protein. It will support your energy levels throughout the day and even help you focus better. Here's a simple daily example. For breakfast, it is recommended to consume a small bowl of Greek yogurt, 1 boiled egg, 1 capsule of vitamin D3, and 1 tablet of vitamin B1. For lunch, steamed vegetables, grilled salmon or tofu, and 1 tablet or lozenge of vitamin B12. With this configuration, your body receives the right nutrients in the right amounts and at the right time. What about taking multivitamins? If you are already taking multivitamins, read the label carefully, as many formulas for older adults contain insufficient doses of these important nutrients. Make sure they contain adequate amounts of vitamins, B1, B12, and D3. Additionally, keep in mind that some multivitamins contain both water-soluble and fat-soluble vitamins. Therefore, it is still recommended to take them with food, preferably at lunchtime or in the morning, and never on an empty stomach. Finally, remember that more is not always better. Always consult your doctor or pharmacist and take medication strictly as prescribed, especially if you have a chronic condition or are taking other medications. When taken as prescribed, these 3 vitamins function like a well-oiled machine to restore strength, balance, and vitality to your legs and your life. Safety tips and precautions for vitamin use. Like any other tool, vitamins are effective for restoring health and vitality, but they must be used with caution. Here are some important precautions to keep in mind when heading to the pharmacy, especially if you are over 60. First, avoid self-increasing the dosage. Just because something is natural doesn't mean more is always better. You won't get faster results by taking 2 or 3 times the prescribed dose. In fact, it can even be harmful. For example, vitamin D3 is fat-soluble. Over time, taking too much, 4,000 IU or more per day, without medical supervision, can lead to excessively high calcium levels. This, in turn, can cause kidney stones, constipation, nausea, or even disorientation. Second, be especially careful if you have kidney or liver problems. These organs are responsible for breaking down and eliminating excess vitamins from your body. Even standard doses can accumulate and lead to side effects if these organs are not functioning properly. Therefore, before starting any supplements, especially fat-soluble ones like D3, be sure to consult your doctor if you have been diagnosed with chronic kidney disease, fatty liver disease, or any other serious condition. Third, it's easy to overlook some vitamin side effects. For example, taking large doses of vitamin B6 for several months can lead to tingling or numbness in the hands and feet. While rare, uncontrolled overuse is particularly likely to cause this long before more serious problems appear. Too much vitamin D3 can cause headaches, muscle cramps, or poor appetite. Always pay close attention to any small changes in your well-being, especially if they occur after starting a new vitamin. And finally, measure your vitamin levels in your blood. Getting a baseline blood test every 6 to 12 months is a sensible idea if you are taking D3 or B12 long-term. This helps ensure that you are not accidentally taking too much or too little, and that you are within a safe and effective range. In conclusion, taking vitamins can undoubtedly improve your quality of life, but the secret lies in being wise, informed, and cautious, especially as you age. These 3 simple nutrients can significantly change your strength, mobility, and independence when taken as prescribed. Let's reiterate for a moment. It's not age. It's not your imagination. And, more importantly, it's not irreversible if your legs have recently felt unsteady, heavy, or weak. We've already covered how vitamin B12 improves your nerve health and helps restore balance. Vitamin D3, in turn, strengthens bone and muscle tissue, while vitamin B1, thiamine, replenishes your energy and boosts endurance. These 3 essential vitamins, working in synergy, form a powerful trio that can help you regain lost strength, confidence, and freedom of movement. However, here lies the main secret. Whether it's monitoring your blood vitamin levels, taking a regular morning supplement, or consulting your healthcare provider, you must take the first step. Action is always preferable to passive waiting.